This is Abby, and today I am thrilled to welcome a guest that is well known, a fashion blogger of almost 2 decades that has been inspiring our everyday style, everyday fashion for so long. I am super excited to welcome today someone that has been inspiring us consistently with fashion that is, you know, that is fit for every season. And she has shown us that fashion is not only about clothes, but she has shown us creativity and confidence. I am super excited to have with us today Stella with JadoreFashion. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. So I know we're going to talk a lot about fashion, about where we are today, but I
Okay.
want to take it all the way back to your
Okay.
childhood. So let's
Okay.
get to know you. Tell us about Stella. Tell us how your family was growing up.
Growing up, I grew up as the only child. So growing up, I think I've always loved fashion in one shape or form, especially seeing it through the eyes of either my mom or my grandma. I always pick up on little things as a kid. I just remember vividly being so obsessed with red lipstick. I don't know what it was about, but my mom wore it a lot that I was just looking forward to the day I was going to try this. And I think one of the first days she let me put it on, I believe it was a kindergarten graduation. And she let me put it on. I thought I was in heaven with that lipstick on. And I think, if I was to think back, I think that's where everything kind of kicked back.
Wow. Kindergarten, I would say that's about, well, like 5 years old. So you would say the
But
love for fashion started before then, but then the red lipstick really nailed it.
yeah, the red lipstick was what was like the nail on the head, like, this is it. And I couldn't figure out why I loved the red lipstick, but I just loved it. And there was this one outfit. It's weird how a kid's memory things you remember, but I remember her wearing this blue. It was like turquoise blue dress, like a shift dress that she wore, and then she'll wear this red lipstick, and the thing would just pop. And I wanted to just pop like that.
Oh,
So that was
love
where,
it,
yeah.
love it. I remember my first obsession and love for Ruby Woo was from you. So when you mentioned red lipstick, that just made sense because I remember going to the Mac store and saying, I want the color of red that she's wearing.
And I think Ruby Woo is still my all-time favorite red lipstick. Now I've added even more to the list, but yeah,
I
Ruby
can
Woo it
definitely see that. You had mentioned your grandma growing up, and I know you absolutely loved and adore your grandma. Can you tell us about a little bit about your grandma? Like, how did she influence you growing up?
Oh, my grandma, gosh, that woman, I love her. She was like they called her nickname. They used to call her "She Who Must Be Obeyed" because she was learning her story. Because I was like her first grandchild, and I would sit and ask her questions. I wanted to know so much about her background, and she was a lady that back then they didn't want to send a lot of females to school. And her dad was like, no, she's my first child and I'm going to send her to school. And she ended up going to do a program in UK. And I remember, then I wasn't born, of course, but hearing all the story about her, she was into cooking and home decor and stuff like that. And she will make things that, I think she studied home economics or something in that nature in UK. And her style, that lady had style for days. To today I still admire her style. She will wake up in the morning. She had a formula. She drank her tea in the morning at 6 a.m., listen to her news, and she would dress up in pleated skirts. And this pleated skirt, when she wanted it to be puffy, she will wear more layers under to make it more puffy. And then she'll layer her necklace, wear her hair, and all dolled up. And guess where she's going? Nowhere. And she would just dress up and just sit. Sometimes she would just sit in her balcony and just watch people pass back and
It's
forth.
so
And I would
pretty.
just admire the elegance, the classicness of who she was.
Oh,
It was
that's
amazing.
amazing. Well, right, that's our answer right there.
Yeah.
That's where you got your love for fashion.
Yeah.
It started from grandma and then the red lipstick.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. I'm sure you miss her.
Yeah, I do miss her, but I just remember her. One of her, she always say, "You got this."
Aw.
Like, cause I saw her. I can't remember the year that I saw her. Maybe 2010. I can't remember. Was one of the last time I saw her before she passed the next year, and it's amazing. I got to see her, and she always said, "Don't worry about me. You got this,"
That's
and I know she'll be
amazing.
proud.
That's amazing. I'm sure. I'm sure. That's really good to relieve the memory of, your grandma. I know you always talked about her. It's great to know about her. So now you're doing fashion. You're known for fashion, but you're not just about fashion. You also have a career. How have you been able to blend both, right? It's definitely really difficult to balance life, your passion, career, family. How have you been able to balance both? Is your career your main thing and fashion your side gig, or is fashion the actual focus for you?
I think for me, like, I do get that question, similar question a lot from my readers. It's how do you juggle, or some of the question might be like, okay, when are you going full time as a blogger, content creator? And the way I look at it is, I love both of the things that I do. Each section of everything I do, whether it's my life as a full-time consultant or as a content creator, they sharpen different aspects of my brain.
Wow.
And in a way they kind of help me. So for me, I feel like, it's not like, oh, one is more than the other. I see it as myself, I have two full-time jobs that I love. And for me to be able to balance it out, these things, I would say thanks to my support system. Because without my support system, it's not possible. So
for sure.
having my husband, having my mom, having people that surround me that, with my husband, we can kind of fit up on our schedule. He's driving me to my photo shoots.
Nice.
He's keeping the car warm while I'm changing in the bag, trying to do my photo shoots, or to places where I need to go because I don't want to drive there, or I hate GPS and I'm always getting lost at certain places. So having those support systems make things seem effortless.
No, for sure.
And also planning in advance.
Oh.
A lot of things that I do is planning in advance, shoots in advance. I could shoot like 8-10 looks in a day and slowly release things. And then I also get to some point whereby I have to kind of diverse, give people things to do, like hire people to kind of help me out in certain things,
Yeah.
whether it's social media management, whether it's as a manager, and different aspects of things, people who help me out.
That's great. Let's piggyback off of the need for community. We know in this day and age, especially during COVID, since COVID, everybody's like a man for himself kind of thing. Like, how has, you've talked about your husband, just community as a whole, how has having a community, even your fans, helped elevate, this fashion blogging business?
I think having a community is very, very important because sometimes you need people who you can bounce off ideas with, people who can help you out in different situations. Sometimes even posting a picture, sometimes I have like 8 of the same outfit picture. I'm like, should I post this one or this one or that one or this one? And I'm sending it to a couple of friends. I was like, what do you think? This or this? This one or this? What should I say here? Or like, and some of them are like, some of my people are boosting me up than I boost myself.
Yeah.
Like if I go to places and I maybe come across some of my readers, it's amazing to see, because sometimes I just see myself as just Stella.
Yeah.
I don't see any fluff to it.
Yeah.
And when I come across and they're like, oh my God, it's nice to see you, and we love this about you, and that motivates me.
Yeah.
That makes me feel like, oh, someone sees what I'm doing. Someone is happy with what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm touching someone. If I could only touch one person, that makes a big, it's good enough.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
You also talked about like your strategy, right? Some of the strategy. I've seen you one time years ago, and you had your iPad, and you're like, like you batch create and things like that. Before we know about batch creating today, you've been doing it for years. Tell us a little bit more about kind of your strategy for, always showing up and always having content, all that planning and strategy that goes behind that.
Batch creating is a lifesaver because we're either with work or so I think people think just besides the picture, they think that's all that I do. They forget that there's a lot of back end work, whether you're talking to brands, reading through contracts, things you have to shoot that have to go through so many different steps of approval before you get to actually post it. A lot goes behind the scenes. So anything I can do in advance to elevate that time, kids go to school, someone can be called out for being sick to pick them up in the middle of the day. So it's a lot goes. So I batch create content, I batch create posts. My phone, I feel like my phone, everybody around me knows my phone is my mobile house. Like I cannot live without because I have Google Doc on my phone, I have notes on my phone. I'm always writing a post. Like I might be sitting somewhere, an idea will come to my mind, and I'm writing a post that I need to post, or I'm creating a content why in the middle of nowhere. Like I can create content anywhere, like literally anywhere.
That.
So when I do that, I put the dates, put the time, put everything I need to match it with, and then I produce everything in advance. Yeah.
That's awesome. Are there some tools that you've found to be helpful over the years that you've used?
T- now a lot of things are constantly changing.
Oh, for sure.
Right now, I don't use a lot of tools like before. Right now, I use Planoly to help I don't use it to post, but I use it to see how my feed will look like, because I like my feed to look a certain way. So I like it to see what it will look like beforehand. And it helps me to see, okay, if I'm deciding on what picture to post, I might decide, okay, let me post this. And I'll look at it, okay, does it look good? Let me swap that picture with this picture. It helps me with idea. And then I use InShot to edit videos a lot, or CapCut. So those two are my go-to quick edit, cut it here and there, and it makes it easier because it's on your phone. You're always on the go.
Yeah.
So those are the two that pretty much, and everything is just posts. And now things have changed with social media.
For sure.
People want to see things that is more authentic. People want to see something that is not fully polished. So a lot of things right now when I post either on my IG story, it's just look at me, I'm just going to the gym. I don't have a full makeup on. Nobody has a full makeup on the gym.
Yeah.
Like look at me, and we're just kids, just run around. Like things people want to see that they can relate to you.
Yeah.
So I don't try to over process it now.
That's good.
Yeah.
And I have seen that level of like dynamic with your posting, Before, in the past, it used to just be Stella, fashion, but over time, I noticed that you have diversified on what you post. Is there any logic behind your approach?
Though for me, I think when I've had people even more recent of my readers go, "Oh my God, I've been following you for the past 10 years." I'm like, "Oh my God, 10 years? That's a lot of time."
Yeah.
But I'm grateful because a lot of them have literally, it's almost like they've watched me grow up. So they'll be like, "I remember when you announced Nolan's pregnancy with the duck." I'm like, "How? You remember that?"
You left an impression.
Yeah. So I want it to be a way whereby people can kind of follow my journey. Follow me as I go through life. Follow me at different stages of my life, whether it's up, whether it's down, whether it's a happy beginning, whatever it is, they have followed me to it. And I try to kind of pull people in as much as I can, but still have that private part for myself.
For sure. And that takes me to something that I always wonder. In this day and age, some people show everything, which sometimes can be healthy and not, but you're a very, I wouldn't say quiet person, you're an introvert, right? But yet you are free sharing, right? Because of your trade. You're a fashion blogger. And just recently you do, share your family as well, celebrating different milestones. How have you been able to balance the need for business to pull in your fans at the same time maintain that your introvert nature of keeping certain things private?
Honestly, being an introvert, my type of introvert, is not easy because I'm such an like my own introvert and shyness mixed together is on the extreme level. So I have to literally psych myself up to get out of my comfort zone. So for me, I try to look at it as, what can someone else learn from me? What can I share that someone else, whether if it's a loss or whether it's a happy subject, if someone can feel not alone, then why can't I share? Because maybe in certain situations, I've been wanting for someone to share something like that to help me, and I didn't see it.
Yes.
So by me sharing different stages or different aspects, someone is learning from it. But at the same time, if I'm sharing something, I know a part of me needs some to myself.
Sure.
And let's say something happened today, I might not share it today. That's the part of me that want to remain that private. But when I'm comfortable enough, or when I've fixed myself, I can be able to share that.
Oh,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. It's like guarding your peace,
Yes.
right? While at the same time being, sharing that experience with others. I have heard a lot of people in my generation who talks about pregnancy experience, who talks about marital experience, and we're like, nobody ever told us. How come we didn't know anything about this? So it's good that you're actually taking that approach to say, if I've gone through this, you can learn through me, right?
Yeah.
So you've talked about sharing experiences, loss, or happy times. You have had some losses in the past, in a few years past. And if you're comfortable with it, would you be able to share how you've been able to navigate those instances, from your grandma to other areas that you're willing to share, and how maybe your faith or community has helped you kind of navigate through that?
Yeah, I think when I lost my grandma, I don't think there was Instagram then. That tells you how far back all this is. But one of the biggest one that I felt like one of the biggest one everybody shared with me was during my pregnancy loss. And I remember when that happened, I felt like the world should open and let me just sink in. And at the same time, I was looking for people out there. Not like I wanted to wish that on someone, but I was looking for someone who has gone through this experience.
For sure.
Someone that can be like, it's okay, I got you, or it's okay, I made it. And I was scavenging, literally looking, searching the internet for anybody, whoever it is, whatever color, whoever you're from.
Just give me information.
Someone just tell me that you were okay.
Yeah.
I couldn't find it. I really signed up on Baby Center. Baby Center had these discussion groups.
Yeah, mom
And I'll
groups.
spend nights, days just reading people's story and people sharing their feelings, how they're overcoming. Some people saying, I'm sad today and this. I'm like, oh, they're feeling like this. That's how I'm feeling too. They're happy today and tomorrow they're not happy. Okay, I'm not crazy for feeling this way. I felt not alone.
Yeah.
At the same time, at that moment, because I remember sharing my pregnancy, and this happening a couple weeks after, and it was like, oh my God, where do I start? And people were like, oh, when are you going to share your pregnancy picture? And at that point, I was like, this is where I have to fix myself first. This is when I put my private part in. And I wanted to just recover, to some extent, deal with it privately because I did not know how to start. What am I going to tell you when I didn't even know what I'm feeling or what I'm dealing with? So I didn't say anything for quite a bit until when I felt like, okay, I can kind of speak.
Yeah.
Because it took a while to speak because I didn't want to be anywhere. I just wanted to spend time with just away from like, don't talk to me anything about pregnancy. Like, just leave me alone. I just
Yeah.
wanted an escape.
Yes.
And of course, you have people online who didn't understand that privacy part. Was like, well, by the way, you shared it. Now you should tell us what happened after. You are the one that posted it first, And I remember telling someone, I will when I'm ready
When I'm ready.
And later when I did, I got tons of emails, DM, people telling me I'm currently going through the same thing right now. And I will it felt like we're being therapists to each other. I'm going through DM when I'm checking on them, they're checking on me, and they're sharing their story that they never shared with the closest person next to them because people couldn't understand. Because it's really hard for someone to understand if they haven't been in the same, because most of the time people will tell you, oh, trust God. Or God has a reason for. Of course, God knows. God's time is the best. But at that point, that was the last thing you want to hear.
Yeah, for sure.
All I wanted to hear is just either you listen to me, just ramble about it, or listen to me cry about it, or tomorrow if I decide, okay, I don't want to talk about it, let's just go eat. Follow my mood.
That's okay.
That's
too.
okay.
Yeah.
So sharing that with people, and at one point I struggled so much, but I know that God got me, like he always around, no matter the situation, whether it was a good, the bad situation, he's gonna get me through it. And it was hard, but we got through it.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
I can imagine. And I would say one thing that I've learned is that a lot of times it's so easy for us to say, I understand how you feel.
Yeah.
But I've come to understand that until you truly wear that person's shoes, you don't understand how they feel.
You don't.
So
you don't
all we can do
understand.
is just be there, like you said, listen to
Yeah.
them ramble.
Yeah.
But thanks for sharing that. And I'm sure others that are going through something similar will learn a thing or two, or the people around them will learn a thing or two to know how to support people when they're going through a hard time. So,
And I always say to people that are going through loss, whether it's pregnancy loss or just loss in general, because when I lost my dad, that was also a hard point, is surround yourself with a community that care, and don't beat yourself up over it, because some days you're up, some days you're down. Because like one of the things I learned is grief is a linear situation. It's imagining like a roller coaster. It's like you're on a high, you're on a low, and sometimes people don't understand. People are like, oh, she was just laughing, oh, she was just dressing up, going anywhere. I'm dressed up because at that moment that's my escape.
yeah.
The next 2 hours I
I
might be
feel like
bawling
that.
out.
Yeah.
So find people who let you take on the different moods and different emotions at different, and it's okay to seek help.
Yeah.
It's okay to talk to someone, talk to a therapist, because at some point I had to, especially after my dad passed, because I was spinning, my head was spinning, I was questioning so many things, and that truly helped me to see things, to look at things a different way, to get out of my dark moments.
Yeah. And I'm glad you mentioned therapists, because a lot of people from the African descent, we always have, I think once we hear that whole therapist, we're like, am I crazy?
Yeah.
But really, it's not until if you don't go to the therapist, you may end up being crazy, right? So I think that's another word, right?
Yeah.
That even if you don't take anything away from our conversation today, it's okay to go seek help. It's okay to go to a therapist. It's okay to lean on someone else and find a way of escape to release the burden and move forward. So thanks for sharing that. I'm sure that it's a sensitive one, but hey, we got through it.
Yeah, we did.
That's awesome. So let's go back to business. as we mentioned, you have been in, in this fashion blogging space for a long time, almost 20 years. We're talking about it earlier. It's been 17 and counting, and
Wow.
a lot has changed. How have you been able to evolve? I know when you started, it was days of high five.
Oh my God. High five. Oh, that's true.
It was days of like Facebook was still very new. It was even before Facebook, definitely
Was
before
it Facebook?
Instagram.
Yeah, definitely before
But
Instagram.
things have changed. Now we have content creating is much easier. How have you been able to evolve over the years?
I think for me, one of the things that helps me is staying through to myself because and I always tell people when people ask me, oh, I'm starting to, well, what can I do? I'm like, you just have to be authentically you. The people who watch you, they can tell when you're not yourself. They can tell when you're trying to copy A or B or trying to do what this person is doing, that person is doing. They can tell. And for me, I've always stayed true to who I am. Like my style has evolved over the
Over the years,
years,
yeah.
and one of the things that I've always kept to it's my style has been all about the simplicity and with the uniqueness of things. I always say my style is simple with an edge,
Nice.
because you can see the simple things. I don't try to overdo too much, but then you might see something that is very unique. You might see exaggerated sleeves or something. So I always stayed true to myself over the years and taking people as a journey as when people see where I start or go back to years ago of my post, you can see the journey.
Yeah.
The journey of evolving, but
Yeah.
you can see the underlining of this is who she is.
Yeah, yeah.
My style, my beliefs, my whoever the person I was still there. So you
Yeah.
can see that evolving. I just had to stay true to myself
That's
over
awesome.
the
So,
years.
like, with the oversaturation of
Yeah.
bloggers, everybody is a blogger. How do you rise above competition and still remain relevant? Because relevance is a thing, right? You
Yeah.
always want to make sure that, like you said, you've had people that's been following you for 10 years and more. And you want to make sure that they keep coming. You want to make sure that you keep engaging your fans. How do you remain relevant in an evolving society?
I think to remain relevant for me is making sure I'm catering to my audience, making sure I'm catering to my audience needs. And something I've noted is my people, I call them my people, they know what they want from me, And I've built this solid core followers, readers for years. And a lot of them evolved with me. And as they were evolving with me, they were evolving too in similar way. A lot of them
Nice.
started with me through college and they were in college. And now we're all moms together. We're all,
Yeah.
going through different stages
Stages
of
of
life
life.
together, the similar things. So they have grown and they tell me what they need or what they request, and whether it's we're checking out outfits to wear to work or I'm giving them inspiration where I've traveled with kids that kids will like, or where I've traveled with my husband they will like, or where to eat. Now people love when I recommend where to eat. Like I have people like, so where do we go eat? I'm like, I become the restaurant.
Because you post some really nice restaurant food, and every time we see your post, we're salivating. So yeah, for sure.
So I'm taking them on this journey of showing different things
I love
and
it.
to make sure you don't get lost in this saturated industry.
Yeah.
You have to be authentically you. Like it seems so simple, but yet so hard. Like know your niche, be good at your niche, and be authentic in your niche, because I see so many people trying to jump on the next trend, jump on the next wagon, and then it expires and you're looking for, okay,
The
what do I
next
do
thing to do.
next?
Yeah.
So you have to find yourself, find what is you, what
Yeah.
makes you different from everybody,
Yeah.
and stick to that.
That makes
And
a
for
whole
me, I
lot of
found out
sense.
that, people just love like my shy, introverted, simple but edgy style, and a mom with you and telling you just this is just me. You take it
Yeah.
or you leave it.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
take the part of me that you like and the one you don't like.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I
I
love
just keep
that.
to my who I am.
That's good. And you were talking about your readers and, those that follow you. Do you still write? And, and the fact that people are asking for what they'll like to see from you, or they're requesting for some feedback or recommendation and stuff. What's the best way for folks to engage with you in that way?
I still write. I still write on my website, JadoreFashion.com. I still post there. I have a newsletter. When people sign up, I
Nice.
send out newsletter. My newsletter varies. Either I'm sharing people gift ideas or I'm sharing people spring outfits. So many things that people get in my newsletter. And my DMs be popping. So people send me DMs like, oh, Stella, can you please share what restaurant you just went to? Or can you share what vacation you guys? I was like, yeah, I'll share once I'm out of that vacation.
That's one thing I learned from you. So I remember years ago, you had mentioned something, and it's so funny how something would happen and it sticks to you, even years down the line. I remember you had mentioned that when I'm somewhere, although I'm a blogger, I don't share in that instance. It's that delayed gratification. Like, yes, I'm enjoying it, but I'm not going to share with you guys when I'm there from a security standpoint.
Yeah.
And I would have never thought about it until you mentioned it. And I just love the fact that, even the simple things is a learning experience as well. So that's great. That's
Yeah, I
great.
always tell people if I post something, I'm gone.
Know that
from there. No, I'm not there anymore.
I love that. And I remember, so talking about Instagram and your engagement with your fans, I remember when you became IG verified.
Okay.
I read this, I think it was a post or a story that you posted and I saw, and you were like, I didn't even know that I was IG verified. While some people are literally glued to their phone, to the app, and looking for when to get verified. How did that come about? Tell us about that journey.
I remember, of course, IG verification. You have to submit for IG verification, and it was just like I think somewhere on the app where you put in your ID and your name, and that was it. So I did this. I can't remember. I think it was because a conversation with a manager. Then I put in then. I didn't take it any serious. Like, what's the big deal? Verified or no verified? I'm still gonna do what I do.
Yeah.
Just put it in, kept on about my business. So I think I remember a friend calling me, and I also received a DM. Oh, you got verified. Like, it wasn't even on my mind because I was like, what is that? What does that mean? Oh, you get a check. Do you check or something? I'm thinking somebody sent me a check. Like, I had no idea. They had to literally send me a screenshot
to know what it is.
No, I was like, oh.
You're
Even
famous now.
even at that point, I didn't see what the big deal was. I just felt like, to me, one of the main reasons I wanted to do it was because people were kind of taking my pictures and pretending to be like they were me.
Yeah.
So that was one of the reasons why, okay, like people will not be thinking someone is me.
Got it.
But besides that, people were like, oh my God, do you know what this means? Do you know who you are?
It's a big deal. It's a big deal. Especially when you organically got it. I know nowadays IG verification is not a big deal anymore because people can now buy it. And it seems like you got yours organically and you built your community. You have almost 200,000 followers on Instagram, organically built. That's a big deal.
Thank you.
That's amazing. So, as you've mentioned, I mean, your posts are always crisp, beautiful. What's your preparation for a shoot like?
Let me just take you a little back. I remember when I first started blogging, when we were still the blog spot. One of the things that attracted me to pictures, or because I always tell myself, what do I see that I feel like other people want to see from me? And I've always loved seeing crisp pictures. And something about when I'm swiping, I see a crisp picture, it just stops me.
Yes.
So I'm like, I want to get to this point. So when I shoot with photographers, I'm very particular of my shoots, making sure I'm looking for locations to make sure it's telling a story, because not only is it fashion, but I also want to include the lifestyle aspect
Yes.
of it. The scenery doesn't have to be just a plain wall or nothing. I wanted it to tell a story behind the scenes of what you're seeing. So sometimes shooting in restaurants and outdoor places that look
On
nice.
the street.
On the streets. Street crossing, like when we stop in traffic. So I have to make sure I'm always searching for photographers, because you can never have enough photographers for different occasions when I need to shoot. Because since I batch shoot, it could be any day
Got it.
that I have availability to shoot.
Got it.
So making sure that they fit that idea that I have in my head
Got it.
and my whole brand.
Got
Because
it.
I'm very specific about my brand, that whatever I do aligns
Makes sense.
with the brand.
Got it.
Yeah.
So you don't just have one set photographer. You have different photographers that you work with.
Yeah, I'm not any photographer that is good. I just unavailable that can shoot what I like and get the concept. Hey.
Yeah, that's awesome. So like with fashion blogging, again, you've been doing this for quite some time, and it requires consistency to be able to be in the game this long. What are some of the strategies that has worked for you? I know you've talked about batch editing. You've talked about some of the tools that you use. What are some of those strategies that you have found to be like that works and that has helped you to remain consistent, remain, just to remain relevant over the years?
Like you said, I talked about the batch, creating things in advance. Also, networking. Networking is also important. In the last few years, I haven't done so much of that because life happens. But networking and building a community of friends that do similar things that you do and feeding off of their interest and your interest. And, sometimes like when you have people that do similar things, you guys take turns in helping each other out. Someone can be like, oh, well, let's go here together. I take your picture, you take my picture. Or, I know a photographer. Here's a photographer you can use too. Or I know this editor. Do you know, here's an editor you can use. Like, people are sharing things. Of course, there's some people that won't share with you. But people, if you find that community of people who are willing to, share what they're doing, me, I don't mind. People have come into my DM and be like, oh, what photography do you use? Okay, here you go.
Yeah. Yeah. That's amazing. So like networking is always a great idea in any industry. What are some good areas or opportunities that people can look out to network with people, like-minded people, especially in the fashion blogging industry?
I think now with how social media is, you can find out events all over social media. Yep. People are always posting events. So as long as you don't mind driving and you have time, there's so many activities. Either like you're in DC, if you're around the DMV area, or if you're going to New York, or like, especially during Fashion Week.
New York Fashion Week.
During Fashion Week, there's like tons of things. Do you have the energy? Do you have the time? Because people think when they see New York Fashion Week, they think, oh, just like it is so fast paced, and activities are like here, and then the other one is on there, the one is there, and the traffic, and you're trying to go from A to B to see it. If you have the time and the availability,
you do it.
You just keep popping here and there. And even sometimes you don't have to even be physically present somewhere to network with people. Networking people also, you can network with people online. Some people that I that comment on my post and I comment back on their post, that interaction is very important to interact with people.
Engage, yeah.
Like engaging, yeah. So someone leaves a comment at you, respond back to the comment. Show them some love on their own page.
Yes.
And that way you're building a community of like, I'm supporting you, you're supporting me.
For
you know,
sure.
where do you need me to comment here? I can comment here. That's everybody. You can kind of see everybody doing similar things, showing support. And by the time you know, some of those people, like some of them, I've not seen them in person, but I've spoken to them like I've known
Like
them
you've
for
known them for a long
years.
time.
That when I now see them, like, oh, so where did we stop? Yeah, and this is just by online communication.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's amazing. That's amazing. And I mean, I can definitely see how that has worked for you because I know of some bloggers that started after you and we don't really see them online anymore. So we now have a little trick to the trade now. So you mentioned New York Fashion Week. And I know it can be crazy and interesting and fun and everything in between. Tell us like your most, like, give us a highlight of the best experience that you've had in New York Fashion Week, whether it's a great one or an interesting one or crazy story, whatever it is. Tell us about your experience at some of the New York Fashion Week that you've attended.
So let me give you a couple. So there was one interesting one. I won't name the name. They invited me to a fashion show. I went. Come to find out, they overbooked the venue for the thing. So we were all sitting in the lobby waiting for time, a bunch of people invited, waiting for the time for us to go upstairs in the hotel where they set up the place. And they said, oh, the space is filled up, that they are not taking anymore. And then some batch of people start coming down. And by the time we know, they said, oh, the show is finished. I'm sitting there like, what? Like, I left when I could have been sleeping, which I don't mind doing, to drive all the way here. Well, I didn't drive, but to come all the way here and the stuff, you should have seen a lot of people. I was like, so when they were inviting these people, they didn't know this amount of people were gonna come. Yeah. So that was one crazy one. Another right now I don't really go much to New York Fashion Week. I feel like
been there, done that.
I've done it. There's not much. I don't know. It's not that exciting, and it's changed quite a bit. But the last one I went, which I knew was probably going to be one of my last, was amazing because I got to attend so many fashion shows that were just amazing. And then I worked with, Black Lane. Black Lane was the car service. And being in New York, there's nothing more amazing than having a car service.
Yeah.
Because these shows are back to back.
Wow.
And you're attending these shows not only just to go there and just relax. You're attending it to go and create content.
Okay.
So you're going, one is at 7, another one might be at 9, and you run to this place, you sit down, you take a video of it, and then you come back in between the car service. You're trying to figure out what you're going to post, how you're going to post it for them, or what you're going to tag, and then you jump back in, change. Some of the times I was changing in the car.
Wow.
To be able to make it to the next show. And
one.
New York, the traffic is on a different level.
Of
Like a
course.
place that is 5 minutes might take you 30 minutes to get to. So, but that adrenaline sometimes
you
it's
going,
good, keeps you going.
yeah.
It's fun and keeps you going.
Yeah.
But it was fun.
Nice. You mentioned car service. Is that a brand?
Yeah,
Forgive my ignorance.
yeah, it's a brand that I work with. They're like, the way to describe it is there's like a luxury Uber.
Okay.
So they have an app, Black Lane. See, Black Lane? They have an app. You download the app and they pick you up, take you wherever you are. They're picking you up in Benz. They're picking you up in different fancy cars. And they were taking me everywhere from restaurants to this place, wherever I wanted to go. They were right there with it, and they were amazing.
Nice, nice. So talking about brands that you've worked with, and I know you've partnered with a lot of brands in the past, what is the best strategy, especially for inspiring bloggers or even bloggers that are looking to scale their brand, what is a strategy that you've used in the past to essentially position yourself for brand partnership?
For brand partnership, to position yourself for brand partnership, of course, things always change. I tell people to, if there's a brand that is on your radar that you want to work with, try to make sure you're incorporating them to your day-to-day use. So imagine if you like Fenty. If you like Fenty, make sure like what you're posting includes a little bit of Fenty here, like naturally include things that part of it adds you, so that when you reach out to the brand, find your PR company and reach out to the brand, you can be like, oh, this product, I've been using this product for 2 years and I love it. I've introduced my audience to it. You can show them how it plays a part in your life so that they can know, okay, this person loves our product. They're just not looking to
Yeah.
us for anything.
Got it. Kind of
Yeah.
involuntarily building your portfolio that you can then
Yes.
show them.
There you go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's amazing. That's great. So, like, working with brands, doing contracts, doing all these things that you've done over the years, have you come across some challenges that you've had to overcome? And what are some of those challenges and how have you been able to navigate?
There's always any businesses without any challenges, and in this industry, one of the biggest ones that I face and other people face is, working brands not wanting to work with you because of your race, and it's something
Because
that
of your,
race.
oh, wow.
Yeah, and it's something that we see often, and it's something like maybe it's brand trips, whereby you don't see any person of color in
Wow.
attending those trips, or campaigns you don't see, or whereby they want to pay you less than what they
Less.
pay your counterparts. So those are some of the challenges that people have come across, and I'm sure a lot of people have come across it. And for me, I get to a point whereby sometimes if it feels hurtful, and sometimes I'm like, you know what? If you don't want me, why would I
Yeah.
go where I don't want it?
Yeah.
I'm not wanted. So I just say, what's for me will be for me. What's
sure.
mine will come my way.
For sure.
So all I have to do is keep doing my best and keep, giving my audience what they want, because those are the people that support me.
Oh, for
And the
sure.
right brand will come around.
And letting your work speak for itself.
Yes.
Oh, that's amazing. We've talked about preparation, and I know a lot of people attribute blogging to being expensive. So just ballpark, how costly is does it take to be a fashion blogger?
I think it can be as costly as you make it. Honestly, it can be as costly as you make it. People think to be a fashion blogger, you have to wear a new outfit every post. You don't have to. Being able to be a fashion blogger that influence people. So look at it as your audience. Your audience is not going out to buy a new clothes every
True.
week. What your audience want to see is are you able to style one thing or a couple things differently each time. So if I'm wearing a button-down shirt, someone should be able to see me wear the same button-down shirt or just a button-down shirt in so many different ways. I
Different
can wear the
ways.
button-down shirt to work. I can wear it with jeans. I can wear it with sweatpants. I can wear it with so many different ways. So you don't have to spend a lot. And now, okay, even pictures. Some people can take all these amazing phones that take pictures that look like someone took it with the best of the best professional cameras. And there's a lot of editing situations where you can edit to make it look really nice. So it all boils down to what you're willing to spend.
Yeah.
It will cost everybody differently.
Yeah.
If you're someone who wants to be all about the luxury items, you're the one buying the luxury. It doesn't mean your audience is gonna buy the luxury
True.
from you. You
Yeah,
know, so it all depends. The costs might vary. I think for for me, when I started, my biggest cost was the camera. At one point, the camera, or getting a photographer, professional photographer. But besides that, I just buy what I want. I don't buy what I wear because, I have to blog today. No, I just buy because I saw
like
that.
it.
I like it.
Yeah.
And when I wear it, if you like it,
Buy it too.
buy it too.
Yeah,
And tomorrow, if I decide to wear that shirt a different way, I don't care if you've seen it before.
Yeah.
I like it.
I'm gonna wear it.
I'm gonna wear it. So the costs kind of varies. Yeah.
And I like that. The reason for the question is really you have people at different point in their life. You have younger people that are not necessarily there financially and are interested in blogging, and they're like holding themselves back or sitting back on the talent, saying, "Oh, I don't have the money." So at least here they go, right?
You
can start.
you
anywhere.
can start. I tell people, don't sit and wait for nothing. Just get started. Like, there's so many people looking for inspirations, whether you're wearing something from, I don't know, Shein, or something from Walmart, or wearing something from Saks. It doesn't matter. Like,
It's how you wear
it's
it.
how you wear it. I've seen people who wear name brands from head to toe and look like crap.
Yeah.
Style is not about brand.
Yeah.
Style is not about logo. Style is who you are.
Tell them.
So people think, if I'm not wearing that designer shoe, or sometimes when I see people what they wear, I'm looking at how they put it together.
Yeah.
Not necessarily like
The name brand
the
of
name
what they're
brand.
wearing.
And sometimes when you see people who their style is amazing, you don't see a logo.
True.
You don't even know where it belongs. All what caught your attention is, oh my God, I like their color combination. I like how they mix this together. I like the color of this.
Yeah.
That what sticks out.
That's true.
So
That's true.
it's not about the cost or the luxury brand or the brand item that people are wearing.
Yeah.
Go, do you.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So the question I have in my mind, and I've always wondered, is do you think passion and profession, like your professional career, can coexist? Or, and I'll put a backstory to this question. I remember years ago, and this was pertaining to you, by the way.
Okay.
Years ago, there was a young teenager that was interested in blogging, in fashion.
Okay.
And maybe not the blogging part, fashion. And of course, the goal was to get to the point of blogging.
Okay.
And she had approached me, or I heard her say, "Oh, I want to be like someone else." And I was like, well, why not consider being like, like you? Because you, at that point, you were pursuing your master's, I think, at that point, and still successfully blogging. You're still starting, but you were successfully blogging and doing both in tandem, right? So, but over the years, you have continued to maintain that, both your profession and your passion. So want to check with you now, today, years later. Is it possible to maintain both successfully your passion and your professional career?
Yes, it is. I think there was like some kind of, at one point, some kind of boom or something that people felt the need that if they didn't quit their professional job, they couldn't be a content creator. And it felt like a trend at one point that people were announcing, "Oh, I quit my job. I'm now a full-time blogger." And I was like, clap for yourself. It doesn't fit everybody, you know.
True.
And it doesn't have to be everybody's story. It doesn't mean you can't do both.
Yeah.
It's just about how you manage it. The way I look at it is, imagine if you own a business, different business. A lot of all the people who you see are multi-millionaires don't have one business, have multiple businesses. And they juggle it all, right?
Yeah.
So how are they able to juggle? They don't have two heads. So I look at myself as I have two businesses.
Makes
One
sense.
happened to be a 9 to 5, and my content creator happened to be 24/7.
They coexist.
So
very well.
and they coexist together because people think I even think I put more work in my content creator that my
9 to 5.
9 to 5,
Yeah.
because my 9 to 5, it's my 9 to 5.
Yeah.
But my content creator, my brain is constantly working.
Going.
My brain
Yeah.
is constantly going. My brain is going. It's like your one-man business of trying to figure out everything.
Yeah.
So it's just like going to jobs, and
Yeah.
it's possible.
Yeah. It's
It's
just a lot, but
possible.
it's possible.
Yeah, it's
good.
possible. It's just how you manage it, how you strategize, how you plan,
Yeah.
and you
Yeah.
can get it done.
Thank you. So, do you feel like you're walking in your purpose?
Definitely.
I like
Definitely.
that. I like that. Where do you see JadoreFashion in 5 years?
I see brand products. I see retreats. I have amazing things coming.
Nice.
And I'm excited. I'm trying to, I think in the stage of my life, I'm trying to a place to build a community of people. A place in my life whereby I'm at peace. I'm content. I'm grateful. I'm blessed. And I wanted a place to build a community of women, who are like-minded, whether it's fashion, whether it's motherhood, whether it's uplifting, or whether it's just a soft life. Like, who doesn't want it all? Who doesn't want to be a mom, still have a soft life, still look nice, cross your feet somewhere with a glass of wine? I
Yes.
wanted to bring all that. So I'm working on something whereby, women can come together and be a community that enjoy the company of each other and have fun.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. So, as we are coming to an end of our amazing session with JadoreFashion, I want you to look at that camera and tell a younger Stella, knowing what you know today, what would you tell a younger Stella of how to thrive in a ever-evolving fashion blogging world, to be successful? What would you tell a younger you?
Oh my gosh. Whew. To, okay, let's pause. To my younger self, I'll be like patient. I'll say to my younger self, you got this, People might write you off, but God doesn't.
I love that. Thank you. Thank you, Stella. This has been amazing. And I'm about to cry because you're getting teary-eyed. But it's been amazing. I love this session with you. Thank you so much for taking the time out and for allowing yourself to share a lot. Like, a lot of people have been following you for years, and I'm sure this is probably the most they've heard you speak.
I know.
So thank you. Thank you. It's
Thank
been amazing.
you for having me. Thank you for reaching out. And I love what you're doing.
Thank you.
And not so many people will make me comfortable enough to sit and share. And for that, I'm grateful. To sit with you made it amazing. Made it feel like I'm talking to you forever. Like I've known you forever anyway. So this is amazing. And I look forward to seeing where you go with this.
And now you've heard it from Stella, JadoreFashion herself. I mean, today has been inspiring to me, and even most especially to the fashion blogging community. I mean, it's been great to have heard the journey from where it all started to where it is now, and most definitely all the great plans that she has coming up in the future. To you, fashion bloggers, or anyone with great ideas, sitting on your ideas, you've heard it all. She's shared so many great ideas, tools, and strategies, and just so many opportunities out there that can be explored. Don't sit on it. Today is the day to start. Take on the opportunity and start today to be the best that you can and start walking in purpose. Until next time, bye for now.